3, 2, 1. It's time for my podcast. Hi, welcome to Yash's podcast. I'm your host Yash, and today's topic is I don't know if I feel like I'm wasting my high school years by sometimes saying that sometimes I'm saying that why, like, I'm not enjoying it and I already missed the past. And I feel like people would say, you're too young to feel nostalgia. You're only in high school. They're the best years of your life. Why are you feeling nostalgia? We never felt nostalgic at that age. We just enjoyed life. I sometimes feel like that. I feel like I'm not doing what a typical teenager should be doing according to older generations.
There's no typical teenager, though.
Nobody
is typical. There is not a repeatable person on this planet.
Okay, so teenagers, we call them teenagers. It's because 13 and 19-year-olds, it's because their age, the name of their age ends with teen, like 13, 14. That's why we call them teenagers.
Yes.
Not because they're going through puberty. That's why we call them teenagers.
Right. And did you know that some people end their puberty by 15? They're done.
Oh, yeah, they're done?
It just depends on you and your body. And everybody's body is different. That's why I don't want, that's why there's no one way to do it. It's lots of ways. Yeah. Yeah. So if you could reimagine yourself, how old, what's your perfect age?
The perfect age?
Yes, for you.
I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of nostalgic for being 14. It was kind of the only teenage year that I seemed to find that I think I enjoyed.
What made it enjoyable?
I don't know, because it was kind of fun. I went to Europe.
Okay.
It was kind of fun.
Was high school fun? The first year of high school?
It was okay. It wasn't that bad.
Right.
I liked it. Kind of.
It was pre-COVID?
No, it was post-COVID.
Okay. So 14 is your magic number to go back to.
Okay, yeah, I mean, but yeah, or maybe like 11 right before the pandemic hit.
Okay. Is there an older age that you look forward to?
I don't know, maybe 20, I guess.
Okay.
And see what your life is like when you're 20.
Yeah.
People are starting to look younger and younger. Like 16-year-olds in the past, when I was a little kid, used to look like grown 23-year-olds. Now, myself, 16-year-olds today look like middle schoolers.
Oops, sorry, that was an episode.
Yeah, but now I'm in high school today, and they look nowhere near adults.
I was teaching at a high school today, and they don't look like adults.
Yeah, high schoolers today, they look a lot more like middle schoolers, even elementary schoolers, than college students.
Well, I think that's because they didn't have to grow up so fast. So, I'm older than you, right?
Yeah.
We had to grow up very fast. We came home by ourselves, this thing called the latchkey kids. Have you heard of latchkey kids?
No.
A latchkey kid in the 80s was someone whose parent gave them a key around their neck and sent them to school, and the kid had to come home and open the door and be home by themselves. So they call it a latchkey kid.
But like, I don't understand why people say, oh man, my teenagers were the best.
I was talking to a group of adults about that because I was so blown away that you said it, and then I paid attention. Adults really do talk like that. They talk about the past all the time.
It's mainly people who are mostly nostalgic for their teenage years are mainly like older people. But look, people in the early 20s, only the ones on TikTok are more nostalgic towards their teenagers over their childhood. Mm-hmm. Only the ones on TikTok, because they're glamorizing the late 2010s, which were not really that great times. Political polarization was at an all-time high. Music was boring. Fashion was boring.
I kind of agree with you. I just don't know if the people who were doing the fashion at that time would agree.
Yeah, and I even saw this person on TikTok. She literally thinks her high school experience in 2018 was a good time. I believe she's just glamorizing, and she just wants to sound like a millennial, and she's just glamorizing her high school experience.
I mean, maybe some people had a good one, but I don't think that many.
Because look, outside of TikTok, even on like Reddit, when this guy who is currently in high school, he's pretty much 17 and he's a junior because he got held back, and he always wishes how he wants to be in high school in like the 2010s, late 2010s stuff. And then this 20-year-old said, I'm sorry, but you're glamorizing the late 2010s high school experience. I remember thinking late 2010s culture was very trash.
That's great. That's great.
And she remembers, yes, and even 2018, outside of TikTok, I mean, that was a really, really boring year. Music sucked, fashion sucked.
Well, what year did TikTok come around?
It came out in late 2018.
Did it? Are you sure?
Yeah. Or I don't know, how normal is it for people my age to wish they were teens in only just a few years earlier? Because, I mean, sometimes, okay, if you're like 19 or 20, you're going to feel really old when I talk to you about this. Oh, yeah, TikTok, I mean, it was called Musical.ly back in 2016.
Oh, it was.
It actually came out in like,
forgot.
it actually came out in like 2014 or 2015 when it was called Musical.ly.
You are so smart about this stuff. So usually I think kids want to be older. When I was younger, like before I turned 10, I wanted to be 10 so bad because it's the first 2-digit number. And then I wanted to be 18 because I would be a grown up. And then I remember wanting to be 21 and 25, and then I stopped. So do you think about being older, or do you just reminisce about your history?
Like reminisce about my history?
Yeah.
On sometimes on how many people wish, man, I wish I was I wish I was born earlier to be to be a teen in a different time.
Wow. Like the 90s?
I'm not, no, but mostly like, but this might make you feel really old if you're in college right now, but sometimes maybe like 2017 to 2019.
So you want to be how old in 2017?
I don't know, maybe like 15. I was only like 10.
So you would be 22 now.
Oh no, but I mean no, but like maybe like 13, I guess.
Okay, so you'd be 20.
Okay, the thing is like, okay, but yes, but like I'm talking about, why do people love their high school experience so much on like TikTok? Even on TikTok, a lot of people are saying, yes, being a teenager in 2019 was so fun. You missed out if you didn't.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, these people are just glamour. Okay, if you say, I'd do anything to experience being a teenager in this era, you are just glamorizing this high school experience.
I mean, but somebody might have had a really great high school experience.
There'll probably be people in like, they'll probably be teens in like the 2030s saying, I wish I was in high school in 2024.
Yeah, probably. And people often wish for things that are not happening right now. But what is good that's happening now? Is there anything good happening right now? On the planet? Like look up what's some good news. Let's ask GPT. We like Chat GPT around here.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna say, what's the good news? Okay, I said, what's good news in the world? There's always some light, even amidst the chaos. Breakthrough in cancer research. Develop a cancer treatment, vaccine for melanoma. Environmental wins. Several countries are ramping up efforts to restore the ecosystems. Technology for good. Researchers are using AI and data modeling to help predict and prevent natural disasters. So there's some good stuff happening. Kindness movement. There's a growing trend of random acts of kindness. Have you seen that on TikTok?
Yes. Okay, but like yes, but like TikTokers, I don't understand. Even people in their early and mid 20s, only on TikTok is when they are more nostalgic towards their teenagers. But on Reddit but on other social media, on Reddit, which I use a lot of early 2000s babies are usually more fond of like the late 2000s and early 2010s. Right. That's the era they're mostly fond of. They were only children.
Right.
And also maybe a little bit of their preteen years when they were like 10.
Yeah. Well, I looked something up because I think your algorithm, right? If the information you're always being shown is one type of thing, the algorithm is picking more of it. So if you keep looking at like Skibbity Toilet, remember that?
Yes.
If you look at it over and over, then your algorithm, the internet, is going to keep giving you more of that.
Like, I'm always staying at home on weekends, and I sometimes feel like I'm wasting the best years of my life.
Well, do you want to go out on the weekends?
Sometimes, but I don't have any friends. But, I mean, I don't understand. Why do people think that your teenagers are the best years of your life?
I don't know.
Not in this era.
No, not now. I don't know if they think it now. I know that in people my age think it was great in the 90s and the 80s.
I mean, but like outside of TikTok, no. People who were in high school during the late 2010s, they are not. That's not their era they're the most fond of. They are a lot more fond of the late 2000s and early 2010s when they were children over the late 2010s when they were teenagers.
Right. Right. So what do we do about it?
What we do? I don't know. Why are people like? I don't know why people love their like. It's usually older generations, and even this guy on Reddit, he says, I noticed how a lot of 60s babies are more nostalgic towards the 80s. You know, and they always like he's saying that my dad always reminisces the 80s when he talks about the good old days when he was a teenager. In fact, when you go on the Gen X, there's a lot of people who are more nostalgic towards the 90s or the 80s. But meanwhile, I noticed how millennials and Gen Z seem to have a fixation on 2000s kids, 2010s kids. And back in like the 2010s, there were videos called Only 90s Kids Can Remember.
Yeah, I was 16 in 1990. It was
like, is it true that decade nostalgias come after the decade becomes 20 years old?
I don't know. I just think for me the music is so much better in the 80s and 90s.
I believe in the 2030, in the blink of an eye, it'll be the 2030s, and then there are going to be people saying only 2010s kids can remember.
Okay, I hear you, but it sounds like we need to figure out how to have you have some fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got to go out and have some fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. And make friends outside. Like, where do people go in your town? Where do the teenagers go in your town?
I don't know. Maybe to a few restaurants.
Okay.
The grocery store.
Maybe. I don't know where kids go. Maybe some of our listeners, maybe you can, if you know where teens are hanging out and having a great time. I feel like nobody goes outside though, Yash.
Okay. Yeah. No one really goes outside. People are a lot more are a lot more online than today.
Right. So you might have to make friends online. And you play video games, right?
Yeah, but not really.
You stopped?
Yeah, I stopped.
Okay.
But I don't know if your 20s are really the best years of your life, which I've heard that because of partying and clubbing. But I don't know if they're not the best years of your life, especially in this post-COVID era where culture is bland.
You think culture is bland now?
And life is just so expensive.
It is. It is. That was part of what we were going to talk about for our next episode. Why don't you tell the people what's coming up on the next episode?
So coming up on the next episode is political polarization and how it affects kids.
Wow, that's a great topic. So let's tell everybody we'll see you later.
We'll see you later.
All right, take care.
Take care.